Welcome back, everyone. I know you guys must be missing the guitar in the background. Fortunately, I'm in another hotel this week. Anyways, if you're new here, I'm Eddie V, and on my channel I'll discuss investing in dividend stocks and ETFs and also personal finance. Today I'll be sharing how my Roth IRA did within the month of January with all the volatility in the market. So I'll show some of the ETFs breakdowns and also what contributions I made. I made a large one right before the end of the year. So I'll be sharing that, and I'll also go into TradingView to share a few charts and some patterns. Before we get into the update, if you find value in this content, do me a favor and hit the like button. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and join me on my investing journey. And with that, I'll roll the intro. Over in M1 Finance and my Roth IRA portfolio, my portfolio total is $6,176.67. I have a negative gain of $323, a negative return of 9.34%. So compared to my previous update in December, my total was around $3,200 and my return was a little over 3.5%. So since then, I did add a large contribution here at the end of the year. I moved over all my contributions in my ETF portfolio. I sold all those and moved them over into my Roth IRA. And the reason I did that is because in both portfolios, I had pretty much the same ETFs. I did start my ETF portfolio before my Roth IRA, and basically when I started that one, I just used the same ETFs. So I wanted to transfer all that over. So that was reason number one. Reason number two was because I wanted to max out my Roth IRA before the end of the year. Now, saying that, you do have until April 15th this year to max out your Roth IRA and put in contributions for the previous year. The reason I did want to do it before the new year is just to simplify things on my end. So when I make contributions currently, it's all going for the year 2022 versus make contributions for last year and this year. So I just wanted to keep things simple. Now I do want to show, and other brokerages probably does this as well, that in M1 Finance specifically, if you go to deposit contribution to the IRA, if you go down here at the bottom, you can actually select which year you want to contribute to. So I thought that was pretty cool. If you are still contributing for the previous year, you can pick previous year to contribute then. Anyways, going back to the update, looking here at the graph, right here is when it was on the 30th is when I sold all the contributions in the ETF portfolio, as I mentioned, and I put all those contributions into this portfolio. So that's a big jump right here. Now zooming in to just this month, you can see the market was in a downtrend. Right here, this blip up is when I added 250 around January 18th, and then right here, this hike up right here up until right there, that was when I added another 250 right at the end of the month. And you can see we are in downtrend right here, and then there was a little uptrend, and today type of recording we had another fall, and that was kind of some of the big companies had their earnings, and so the market kind of dropped again. That's the overview of here, and just scrolling down, here are different ETFs. And if you haven't seen my previous Roth IRA portfolio, I do a breakdown of each of the ETFs and top holdings in them. So I'm just going to run through these quickly. I'll post that video here at the end of the video. So anyways, I'm going to sort by gain. So my biggest loss, because the market was pretty much all in red this last month, biggest loss was in the small cap and mid cap. This was VB at pretty much 9% and VO at 8%. So of course, with small cap and mid cap, those are not your companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft. Those are the smaller companies, and it's pretty much a toss-up, more risk, more reward. So I do have these, as you see here, at 12% and 20% of my overall portfolio. So these generally are more volatile compared to the bigger companies in the S&P 500. Just scrolling down, we have the real estate, 7.42% it dropped. And then we have the S&P 500, so 6.27. So these are the big five ETFs I have, excluding my high dividends, but I have in the United States market. Now the other two I have international market, or VEA, which is the development market, and then VWO is emerging. So both of those were a bit smaller. You can see emerging market, very little volatility in here. Also, they're a lot smaller portion of my portfolio, so it wasn't as big of a drop on that side. Now going to the high dividends. Over in my high dividend pie, within this last month, got a negative gain of $17 and negative return of just about 3%. So scroll on here, we can see that VIG is the one that fell the most at 4.5%, SCHD 2.3%, and VOIM 0.00. Now the reason I have all three of these, and I did mention it in one of my previous videos, I'm kind of comparing each of them together and seeing which one better performs versus the other ones. Anyways, I want to jump to Seeking Alpha. I'm going to look at VOO, just so because that one has the big top 500, and those are, a lot of those companies are the ones that fell this last week and just kind of brought the market down. So looking at VOO and Seeking Alpha, you see this last year, VOO has grown close to 20% overall month, because 3.71. So it has been dropping since the beginning of the month, and I'm pretty sure, yep, that's like the fourth. So being on a downtrend, the lowest point it got was early last week. It was around last 24th, I think it was around Monday. And that was at lowest point, and it started to grow back. And today, other companies had earnings, and there was another big drop. So we were recovering at the beginning of this week, and now we hit another roadblock, another drop. Anyways, we'll jump to TradingView. Looking at VO, and the reason I'm doing VO because it kind of has the top 500 companies, as I explained, so it's a good kind of view of what the market is doing. And VO is the vanguard of the S&P 500, which a lot of things are kind of based on, as far as the market, based on that. All right, so over here in VOO, just looking where I put in, I was keeping a track of where the market was going. So if you saw my dividend portfolio, I was looking at where good quality stocks were at a discount. Now, I wasn't just buying the dip on like anything, basically keeping what I had in my current portfolio already and noticing, hey, this is a good price right now to bring your average share price down, but also get another share of a company basically at a discount. They were on sale. So as far as the Roth IRA, around this day is when I added my second 250 for the year. And this was basically the lowest it was before it started to rebound. That was last week. This was 24th through about the 27th. And just looking at momentum, just going here, you can see this is my weekly statistic, and we're still in a downtrend overall. And then the bottom one is the day-to-day statistic. And looking right here, I can see around here when the red lines were starting to creep up, I could make an assumption that the market had potential to rebound. Now, I'm not saying that it would happen. You just can pick up on some of these patterns and can make a good estimated guess on what may be happening in the future. So kind of looking back, I think this was in December. Beginning of December, you can see right here, the market was in a slight downtrend. You can see at the beginning, around Thanksgiving, coming down after Thanksgiving, this red crossed over the yellow, and that's when the downtrend started happening. And right here, as far as day to day, you can see the red crossed over the yellow here, and that's when we had this slight bump up. And then as the momentum kind of came down, this was around week right before Christmas, we had another little bump up, and you can kind of see what I look for is kind of these patterns, and just know where the market could be going. And just looking at the trend here, you can see we were in an uptrend starting around the 24th. Slowly, we're basically hovering around that 200-day average. And now we're at this teal here. So we basically hit a resistance point at that 100-day moving average and came back down. That pretty much wraps up my Roth IRA update and sharing. I just wanted to point out some patterns that I kind of pay attention to and to just help with my trading. And in my next video, I am going to do basically a breakdown of how to set up TradingView if you'd like to follow along. So I'll have that in a nice easy steps going forward. Let me know down in the comments, what was your January like? What were your big losses, or did you capitalize on any of the discounts and run up that little blip right here? With that said, if you did find value in this content, do me a favor once again to smash the like button. It helps grow the channel. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and join me on my investing journey. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.